So I see some people are raising their hand. If you have any question, please go ahead and drop it in the chat for now. So you have, the categories and the events and workshops. So when you go to the general category, you have the general chat, you have the rules, you have introduction, you have announcements, and you also have resources. Now, this set of channels makes up the general category. So, same thing applies to the events and workshops. Would definitely explain, the point of having different categories and why we believe it's better to, have it organized this way. So, you see under the events and workshop, we have the chat, which means if we have an event holding in the town hall, which is just the name we called the event stage, right? So on Discord, it's called a stage. Right now, we are currently on a stage, similar to what you have on Twitter. So I hope you guys are with me. So what you're seeing here now is we're currently on the stage. We have 122 listeners, and we have the chat to support or to get to read up messages and probably questions dropped by the audience. We are definitely going to be using the stage often, especially when we are working when we are talking about when we are having events or yeah definitely events, or when we are having some kind of sessions with some instructors or probably some engineers or designers, that we've invited to talk to you guys, from different companies and from different countries. So we're definitely going to utilize the stage, but at the same time, we're going to be using, Twitter Spaces. So we'll also get to that and we'll explain that as well. We also have the workshop call. So if you look at the workshop there, you see it's different from the chat, it's different from the stage. I mean, looking at the icons, right? So on Discord, we have what we call the voice chat or the voice call. So basically, you will be able to, talk to the audience, and the audience will be able to respond. You would also be able to share your screen. And the major reason why we're not using that now is because the number of participants is actually limited when you are working when you're using the voice channel, right? Unlike the stage where you can accept thousands of participants. For the voice channel, I think it's about 99, if I'm not mistaken. So what we usually do is when we're having a class, a live class, we end up streaming to YouTube. So those that are unable to make it on time to the class, would be able to stream and watch, would be able to watch the class on YouTube. Okay, so I think some people are still complaining, but I'm no longer using the headset, and I think it's better. But let me check the chats. Um, okay, I think it's just okay. Yeah, so someone said he can hear clearly. All right, thank you. Okay, so let's proceed. So if you can't hear me, probably increase the volume on your laptop or your mobile, uh, yeah, your mobile phone. Okay, so I was trying to explain the difference between the chat, the event stage, right, the stage, and also the voice call. So if you are new to Discord, of course, at first it might be overwhelming, but it's quite simple, just like other tools, just like Slack, just like Microsoft Teams. The reason we are using Discord is because of the flexibility and the level of customizations we can have on Discord, and also the fact that we can use a bunch of integrations. Like we can decide to build like we have a custom chatbot. I don't know if you guys have seen the Comrade chatbot. Uh, so for now, I think we don't have much functionalities with the chatbot, but we're just trying to experiment with a couple of things during the previous cohort. I think you can also. Oh yeah. So for now, you can only see the feedback category where we have 100 days of design. We have the 100 days of code, design feedback, portfolio reviews. Then we also have a channel where you can. So these are all text channels, right? Looking at the icons, these are all text channels. I don't know if you can see this. I think they are private. So I doubt if you can see them. Maybe you can only see the job board, I guess. Yeah, so we also have a job board, of course, and I think that's the network issue. Yeah. So we have the job board, and what you can do is for now, of course, you don't really need to focus on that. I think the alumni would actually make use of that more. You can actually get some of the latest remote or on-site gigs on the job board. We are still putting more efforts into the job board channel to ensure that we are able to get entry level roles and internship roles. Yeah, so but that is what happens in that channel. So for the other channels, they are private, and of course, once you're given the appropriate role based on the based on the career track you've signed up for, um, you will be able to see the channel, your learning channel, of course. Yeah. Okay, so let us go back to the agenda for today. But I just want to be sure that everyone can hear me clearly. We have 134 people listening. I think we had more than 300 people show interest. Yeah, so I think more people will definitely join as we proceed. Amaka, can you try to add Sega or Moses again? I can do that. Yeah, please do that. All right. So yeah. So if you have downloaded the agenda, I think we can work with that now. So of course, this is a welcome party, and we're going to explain some of these terminologies we use here as we proceed. What we are doing right now, this is just trying to get you familiar with the Discord environment. Of course, we dropped a couple of videos that you can watch and familiarize yourself with Discord. But I think sometimes it's also good to explain this while you are on Discord. You can explore these things while we explain. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to be looking at we're going to be talking about the platform, right? Why Top Universe? What are we building? What are we working on at Top Universe? And we have a free cohort training program, coupled with a bunch of other activities. What is the aim of these things? So I think Amaka, I would advise maybe you drop yeah. So yeah, I think some people have not seen the agenda, so please check the announcement channel and you can download the agenda from there. It's a PDF file. All you have to do is download and yeah, I mean, open it on your phone or your laptop. So called Willant. Yeah, so we organized this program for some friends, to teach them, front end, back end development, because they were trying to get some remote gigs, and we just wanted to ensure that they were up to the task, for scaling the interviews and all that. So we ran that training for about, I think, about 6 months. Yeah, I think about 6 months. I got to know a bunch of cool guys, a bunch of engineers and designers from that program, and it has always been free from day one. So basically, myself, being one of the co-founders of the platform, I've actually had a flair for teaching people. I think, yeah, since 2007. I laid my hands on a computer for the first time in 2005, and I was able to pick up a couple of things myself. And after a while, I had the opportunity to train someone. Um, I think I was 10 years old, if I remember clearly. Yeah, I was 10 years old, and my student then was about 47. I was teaching the man how to, I think, how to use some basic word processing, packages, Microsoft Office package, Excel and the rest of them. So I think I really enjoyed teaching. Of course, I came from the background of teachers. My dad, my mom, they are both experienced teachers. Yeah, so that was how it started. I loved coaching people. I love educating other people. Of course, based on what I've learned, and with time, I continued on that path. Even throughout my school days, and yeah, I got to start Willant. I started Willant, and I met Amaka. I also met Emanuela, who were really interested in what I was doing, and we decided to scale what was then called Willant into top skill and top universe. So basically, we were trying to build a platform where we could teach people that did not have the opportunities to learn these things, because of course learning these stuffs, I mean, it's definitely quite expensive, especially if you're from Nigeria. It's quite expensive to learn some of these things and to learn them well. So we decided to put in our experience, from design, of course, product design, and also engineering. Yeah, so I personally have about 12 years of experience, writing code, working for companies, working for startups, remote and, local companies here in Nigeria. And yeah, we decided to put this experience together to build something really meaningful for people, where you can join a cohort program, and in 3 months, we expect that, you should be able to pick up a couple of things and, learn, also build, real projects with some of your supervisors and instructors. And at the end of the day, we expect that this project would, be hosted online. You should be able to see what you've built, and yeah, you should have people review your code base. Tell you if what you've done is good enough, or if you should do more work, right? And this is what we've been doing for I think yeah, for more than 6 months. Of course, more than 6 months now. And yeah, we just rounded up the cohort 1.0, not quite long, and most of our students, of course, outperformed. We were actually surprised. We did not expect some of the students who are currently interns with international remote companies to perform the way they did. And of course, before the end of the session, we'll have some of them, talk about their experience on this call. All right, so Top Universe, basically as a platform, the aim is to build a platform, to build an end-to-end, learning network. That is what we call it for the future of work. And we call it a network because we believe in open source learning. We believe in teaching you, and we believe in learning, from you guys as well. So we connect and we learn because, of course, we have different backgrounds, and we will definitely have to bring in a different level or depth of understanding these separate career paths. I believe some of you already have basic experiences with programming, or probably with design. Some of you don't have any background at all in these things, and it's fine. And I think one thing we always advise people on is that they should not be intimidated by what others are doing, right? So when you see someone that is already a little bit far ahead of you should understand that this person probably have been doing this for a couple of months or a couple of years. What you should do instead is network with that person and try to allow the person teach you. You don't have to be intimidated. You don't have to be proud. Just try your best to relax and learn. right? So you'll definitely see some people, I mean, coming up with better designs, coming up with better ideas, talking about, a couple of advanced concepts. When you see someone doing stuff that you believe you are not at that level to do, the best thing you can do is, try to visit the curriculum and, follow the curriculum, right? So follow the curriculum or probably look for some materials that, of course, we'll definitely provide a couple of materials to you as well. So, try to follow those materials and then make sure you learn in stages. Don't rush. Don't put a pressure on yourself. Don't put pressure on yourself. Just make sure you are able to, learn one bit at a time. All right. So I think I'll just move on to the next thing on our agenda here. So what are you expected to do within the 3 months? How do you access the information from the channels on Discord? All right. So basically, we opened up this cohort registration for front-end development, for back-end development, for product management, and also for UI UX design. So if you fall within these tracks, you will definitely learn, a couple of beginner stuffs, and also you will learn at least you will learn some things that should that would make you employable either as an intern, or as a junior engineer or designer or product manager. So um, I believe most of you might have figured out that the product management curriculum is not part of the list of curriculums that we've presented to you. That is because our team is still working on that, and hopefully we're going to have another session with the product managers, to ensure that everything would work out as planned. So for now, just be patient, and some of those things will be arranged before the end of the week. By the way, officially the training will be starting on Monday. Like the classes will be starting on Monday. But before Monday, we are going to be having a couple of activities. We're going to make sure that everybody has access to their respective channels um, and roles. And we also believe that a couple of people will be joining, between now and Sunday. So we are going to use this little time to make sure we have enough people in their channels before we proceed with the classes. All right. So yeah, so how do you access the information from the channel? It's quite simple. Once you're given the role, on every category. So for example, for the front end category, you have you have a room, and a room is basically where we drop materials and text, where you can ask for questions. We also have tips. So tips is where your instructors or moderators will probably drop some content that they believe you should consume. It's definitely in line with your curriculum, but probably not a specific topic on your curriculum. So if you are maybe doing front end and you have something on your curriculum that says introduction to HTML, someone might drop a bunch of tips, probably as a link or maybe a video that you can easily consume and at least understand some basic stuffs around HTML and the rest of them. So yeah, so we have the room, we have the tips, and finally we have the stream. So the stream channel under the front end or the back end or the product management or the UI UX um, career path. The stream channel is basically where you join to learn. So we're going to have some of our moderators stream the content to you, and you watch those contents live. The learning time is between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. West African time. So we are going to stream those contents by that time. And if you are unable to join, maybe the stream is full, you can always watch that stream live on YouTube. While it's being shared on Discord. So I believe if you receive the email, you definitely saw a bunch of social handles, and you were advised to follow those handles, and I would get to that in a bit, and I would explain why we think it is important for you to do that. So The next thing I'll be talking about right now is briefing you on how to approach, the admin or the server moderators, and also some of the alumni on the platform. Of course, we said we had the previous cohort 1.0, not quite long. So we have so many. I think we have about 1,500 people that are signed up on the server that were part of the previous training. So first off, I think I would advise that if you are an alumni, it's not a good idea to talk about advanced stuffs, in the rooms. As a matter of fact, we thought about kind of removing you. I'm referring to the alumni here. We're thinking of removing the alumni from these roles, but we also think it's a good idea for beginners to learn from people that already have experience in the same in the same field. So what we would advise you to do is when you have a kind of session, for the alumni, if you want to have a session to discuss some kind of advanced stuffs, and you know very well that the beginners would not understand what you're talking about, we have already created a private a feature here. We integrated this feature on the platform on Discord here. So it's called join to create your own channel, right? So it's at the top of the channel list. So once you click on that, you will be able to automatically create your own channel, and then people can join you there, right? So if you want us to extend the amount of people that should be able to join you, I mean, you can always inform any of the moderators, and they will do that. But anyone can create a channel and have conversations there. And once you are done, once you end the call, the channel will be deleted automatically, right? So I think it's a good way, to have private sessions. If maybe you are having if you're having difficulty understanding something, and then you have someone on the server that can put you through, we would advise you to use the join to create your own channel option instead of moving down to some other social platforms. And we are saying this, for your own security. We don't want a situation where you complain about the people you met on the server because you gave them your WhatsApp number or your private phone number. You can always use the join to create your own channel option, and definitely you can share your screen, and the other party can see the challenge or the problems you are facing, and they can assist you right on the call. So I think that is a very important option that you should always remember. We have it here, and it will definitely help you a lot. So um, yeah, then for the moderators, of course, if you have any issues, if the new guys on this call, if you have any issues, with your account, or maybe you are not seeing your role, or you are not seeing the channels or the learning path, I mean, you can just communicate with the moderators, send them a DM, and tell them that you're having this challenge. But of course, when they inform you that they are working on it, you don't have to keep. There's no need. I've had some yeah, there've been some situations where I was told that some of the students are bugging the moderators. Of course, they are here to help you, right? And they are doing their best to make sure that they fix up any issue you're having. Remember that this is a community, and we are all doing our best to make sure we provide a conducive environment for everyone to learn. Um, yeah, so if you have questions, you can always reach out to your instructors, or you can even drop your questions directly on the chat, in the room, and definitely your instructor or someone with experience in that particular area that your question falls under would definitely attend to you. So I believe that that would work, right? If you have issues, I believe that would work. All right, so yeah, I think also, I don't think we should approach the admins about, things that have to do with moderation, right? So, of course, we have moderators, so you can always reach out to them. Um, except it's something that has to do with maybe your registration. on the website. Maybe you have some kind of errors on your name. Of course, we're not showing those details now, but if you feel you made a mistake when registering, because the detail you use in registering is what would appear on your certificate, right? So that's why we also advise that some of you should use at least relatable names, names that we can use to identify you if maybe we're trying to figure out something. Of course, most people like to be anonymous, and then they go ahead, to use some weird names and also use weird images. In the previous cohort, we did not allow that, but we don't want to be too strict on what we should allow on the server. Of course, try your best. I mean, it's for your own good, right? So just try your best to make sure you're working with appropriate images and also appropriate naming conventions for your name, so we can easily identify you. Um, yeah, so I think that is it for the yeah. So let's talk about the monthly events. Okay, so before I proceed, Fega and Amaka, do you have any contributions on what I've said so far? Can you guys hear me? Fega, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, but let's just do the party and for the end of the holiday, I'll sit in something.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So Chris Fega community manager. So we also have community managers from different countries, and we're working towards scaling our operations to other countries. Amaka is our product chief, and she's actually in charge of every single design you have seen, probably on social media, on the website. The applications we're currently building. We're also extending our operations to secondary schools, and yeah, she's in charge of everything around products. Um, yeah, so we also have Emanuela. Unfortunately, she's not here, but I hope she'll be joining us soon. Okay, so I think uh, let's talk about our monthly events. So we actually have monthly events, where we invite top professionals from the industry to talk about specific technologies or maybe some kind of use case around a specific technology. So we do invite these guys. They can be security engineers, they can be consultants, they can be blockchain engineers, or probably CEOs and managers in some top organizations. And we are also looking at extending our invitations to engineers at top fan companies as well, like Facebook, Google, and the likes. So um, I have discussed with the team, and what we've agreed to do is to always drop those events on the events channel. So we have an event channel where we can create and drop events. We usually drop the events as links, but I think it's a good idea to drop it on the events channel so we can see those that are interested in participating in some of those events. Of course, for now, some of those events we use Zoom because, as I told you earlier, when you use a voice call on Discord, you might not be able to have more than 99 people, I guess, on that particular call. So we use Zoom for our monthly events, and we that event is. Sorry about my dogs. Oh boy. Okay, so the events are actually held twice a month. Um, yeah, so we have a bunch of other activities. So, but for the events, they are actually held twice a month. Yeah, so I would just move on to the community hour. Yeah, so if you have any question while I'm explaining, I think you can also drop your questions on the chat. I'm currently looking at it. So someone is saying she cannot hear anything anymore. Yeah, so the thing is, when using Discord, try your best to make sure your network is stable, right? Make sure you have good network. Of course, 4G would be preferred, and possibly try to get a MiFi or a router, right? Because if you're using your regular mobile internet and you receive a phone call or some kind of network issues in your area, Discord might not function properly for you. So since others can hear me, then I would say the problem you are experiencing is your network. Okay. So for the community hour, we organize. We have community hours where we sessions where we talk about all things technology. Ranging from design to software engineering to algorithms, data structures, stuff like that. So we actually organize this event. We have this community hour session twice a week, Monday and Tuesday, and it actually holds by I think 12 p.m. Yes, West African time. So 12 p.m. West African time. Of course, we understand that most people might not be able to join. Most of you are working, but the idea is most people might also have their lunch breaks during that time. And if you are not able to join, we'll definitely record the sessions, and you can always watch those sessions on YouTube. But it's advised that you try your best to, be part of those sessions live because, there are some parts of those sessions that might not, reach YouTube. So if you cannot meet up with those sessions, of course, you can always fall back to YouTube. But if you can, please ensure you participate in those sessions. So as I said earlier, the community hour is basically to talk about all things tech. If you have some questions you want to ask the instructors, you can always throw those questions during the community hour. And you have professionals and instructors on that call, having fun, talking about tech, and they can always attend to you. So the community hour just lasts for 1 hour, right? So Monday 12 to 1 p.m. And yeah, I think someone dropped a quick attend to this question. So the major reason why we're using Discord, as I said earlier, is because of the level of flexibility and integrations that we can have here. Of course, on Slack, you can also use webhooks and some other stuffs. Of course, Slack also has plugins. I'm very of course I'm aware of that. I've actually explored both options. I've used Slack a lot in my workplace. I've also used Microsoft Teams. But after a bunch of comparison, looking at what we can use for both audio calls and video calls, sharing your screen. I mean, there are a bunch of stuff that you enjoy for free on Discord that you don't get on Slack. And of course, I mean, if you are a solid Slack user, then you would understand my point. All right, so I'll move on to the next, which is a podcast and workshops. Yeah, so we usually have workshops where we teach a bunch of, we have like, practical sessions where we teach, practical stuffs, right? I mean, we build stuffs with your instructor or with the guest that was invited to that session live. So, and of course, you can ask a question while the person is building, and they would give you reasons why they are choosing to do some things over the other. So, yeah, I mean, the workshop is very important. You're part of the workshop, whether you're doing front end design or back end. I think it's very important. Most of my students, both my the students that I taught on the platform, and even some of the students with taught some of these things in the past. They really enjoyed the workshop sessions because you are able to spend like 1 or 2 hours building something, right? Building something tangible is not a class where we just talk about theory and a little bit of practical. It's completely practical, right? So as we talk about those stuff, we show you those stuff, and you see those stuffs in action, right? So make sure you're part of the workshops. Then we also have podcasts. We just started that recently. If you check out our Spotify handle, our Spotify channel, you see we only have one podcast. So we just dropped that a few days ago. We plan to do more, on podcasts, and the reason is because from the feedback we got, a lot of people would love to listen to tech-related talks, especially something that is coming from a practical standpoint. Not we're not just recording a session and we're not just talking about cloud computing. We're not just talking about back-end engineering. We're actually giving real-life scenarios where we experience some issues, some bottlenecks, trying to implement a couple of things and how we scaled those problems, how we're able to solve those problems, how we fix those problems. So I think we're definitely going to put more effort in ensuring that we create more podcasts and yeah, we'll definitely share with you and would advise that you go ahead and follow our podcast channels. We have the channels I think on Anchor, we have a channel on Spotify. So I think more of those details will be shared in the general section later. So I think the next thing we have, we're just trying to make sure we don't spend too much time here. So the next thing we have, of course, the learning tracks, and this was actually referring to the channels once again, and you'll be able to see those stops once you join. So someone said, I personally had issues with Slack during an online training like this. At the long run, give up on the training because it was difficult. Yeah, so I don't really think Slack is difficult. I don't think any tool is difficult. You can always learn those tools. I just feel it depends on what you're trying to achieve. So we're trying to do something where we can share our screens. Yes, so we can share our screens and we can also probably turn on our video, our camera. And when you're using something like Slack, you definitely have to pay for this, right? So if you're Slack is more of for business use cases, and it's not really for. I don't see it as a platform for building communities, especially communities like this. I'm not saying it's not possible to do that. You can do that with Slack, you can do that with Teams, but based on my experience and a couple of other people, we actually discussed this and we did our research and we figured out that Discord would be a better option. All right. So I said learning tracks is still referring to your channel. So definitely when you're added to your track, you can explore your track. You can drop some messages there. People are on standby to respond. And even if you don't get immediate response, definitely someone will respond to you probably in a couple of hours or so. Um, I think, yeah, so I said we're going to also do a quick walkthrough on the curriculum and the learning tracks. So that is the part where I have to do a couple of explanations. So let's assume that you joined front end or back end or project management or UI UX without understanding, what we without understanding what those fields really stand for. I would explain that right now. So someone is saying what time will classes hold? So it's basically in the evening, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sometimes it will be shorter, maybe 8 to 9 p.m. I said the events actually hold twice a month. Then the community hour Monday and Tuesday. Don't worry, you don't need to remember everything I'm saying right now. This will be added to a calendar, a public calendar, right? So the calendar will be shared tomorrow, and everyone would have access to this calendar. And the calendar would also be tied to the website. So once you visit the website, you can also have access to the calendar, and you'll be able to see the specific time for your classes, every single class, by the way, and the topic as well. So I don't think that's something you should be bothered about. So does that mean it's not advisable to watch on YouTube? Well, you can go back to YouTube. You can also watch on YouTube if you're not able to join the Discord call. But if you decide to say you want to, you want to leave everything happening on Discord because you want to focus on YouTube, I think you have a lot to benefit from the conversation happening within Discord, right? That's the point we're trying to make. So all the links will be shared at the end of this session. All the links to the social platforms, Spotify and the rest of them will be shared here. I think some people are just joining because I'm seeing a couple of questions that are, I think we've tackled those questions already. Okay, so I said if you have not been added to your learning track, you will be added to your learning track between now and Sunday, 6 p.m. Sunday, right? We have people that will do that, and the classes will start officially by Monday. So from now till the end of the week, we are adding people to their tracks. New people are joining. We are hosting games and a couple of things that would at least keep you busy. So yeah. So if you want to access the curriculum when you are added to your track, we have a shortcut for that, exclamation curriculum. You cannot use that right now if you have not been given typing that correctly. Okay, yeah. So if you don't have the right you just hold on, and once you have the role, all you have to do is type in exclamation curriculum, and you would have this would show up. So you can just click on this, and it takes you to the product management curriculum is currently not on this list, and it will be added to this list because for you guys, especially on the product management track, we'll definitely let you know in your category when we add you to your track. We'll definitely let you know in there. So someone is asking if you're able to sync the lecture time with your calendar. I doubt, because I think the calendar is being prepared with Notion. So I doubt if you'll be able to do that. But you can always, have a bookmark or something. So I understand maybe you need some sort of notifications and all that. I doubt if you'll be able to do that, except you want to create your own calendar from the calendar we share with you. All right. So, of course, for the learning tracks, we have front end engineering. Basically, what you'll be able to do from front end engineering, you will be able to, build websites. You'll be able to build, of course, responsive websites, that would run on mobile and web. Um, yeah, so you would be able to you would learn how to structure your websites, best practices. You would learn how to use CSS. You would learn towards the end, you would learn at least one framework, and we are focused on teaching Vue. Most of you might have heard of Vue, React, Angular, Svelte. Yeah, so we focus on teaching Vue because Vue is actually more approachable. um, we are not saying Vue is the best, but it's very approachable and it's easy to work with if you understand some of the basic concepts, right? So once you learn how to use Vue, if you choose to explore, hundreds of frameworks, that is up to you. But definitely will teach you how to build applications you can host, right? And if you are always part of the, if you're part of the workshops, the community hours, you will definitely see people building these stuff, and you can contribute. And even during by the end of the program, we have a project phase where you have to participate in that project. We are not doing anything around blockchain right now, but I think you are asking the languages used in front end similar to the ones used. Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, you can use JavaScript when working with blockchain, but let's not talk about that. I don't think that's part of what we're discussing here. So that is front-end programming or front-end engineering. You can search on Google to understand more about these things. Let's talk about back-end engineering. So basically, you have guys working on the front end, which is the website that would be displayed to these users. Then you have some people on the back end writing the logic, or we call it the business logic. Working with databases like Postgres, like MongoDB. Using languages like JavaScript. Of course, we're teaching JavaScript and Node, but there are a bunch of backend programming languages. You have Python, you have Rust, C++, C Sharp, and the rest of them. So Ruby on Rails. I think it depends on you can always learn and then extend your learning. So we believe in continuous learning. Whether we are teaching you Ruby on Rails or not, if you have questions and you believe you have mentors or instructors that you can ask. Of course, you can ask us questions around those stuff, because most of us definitely have experience, cutting across multiple languages and frameworks. So, but for the training, we're focusing on Node, Node.js, and JavaScript. So we'll teach you JavaScript. Even for the front end guys, we'll definitely teach you JavaScript, right? So we'll teach you JavaScript for the back end. We'll teach you how to use the Node engine. We'll teach you how to build APIs, right? We'll teach you how to design APIs. So a bunch of stuff. I'm sure by the time you hear the testimonials, you will understand what I'm talking about. So for the UI UX, Basically, what you're doing is you're designing products. Like you're designing interfaces, like mobile interface. Maybe, for example, you have a WhatsApp application, you have the Instagram application. So you work on stuff like this. We have challenges that are always happening on the server. You can practice with those challenges. You design websites. You come up with wireframes. You come up with you do a bunch of research. User research, and you try to understand the reason for the project in the first place, or the reason why your client or why the user wants a specific functionality, and then you go ahead, doing your research. Then you come back, work on wireframes, come up with affinity diagrams and all those stuffs, right? So you definitely get to learn those things, and someone is saying you have not been added to your track. Come on. All right, so you definitely get to learn those things, and yeah, the program is beginner friendly, I believe so. Yeah, but during the training, if you feel it's not beginner friendly, if you feel there are some things that are a bit too advanced for you specifically, because I mean, people have different levels of understanding, or grabbing these stuffs. But from our end, we're going to ensure that is beginner friendly, right? And yeah, look at the curriculum, and we take it one step at a time. No pressure. Um, and you can always join any other cohort to advance your skill. We actually have some masterclass stuff, but we're not talking about that. And yeah, the classes will be recorded, and you can always watch them again. So I think some of you are just joining this call. Um, yeah, so then for the product management role, basically, we teach you, and we teach you how to, build products, how to build and manage products. Of course, you learn, things around the, the agile. You understand. Maybe you've heard of some things around the, sprints, backlogs, and stuff like that. Definitely have folks that would join us from different companies to ensure that what you are learning is not just theory based, but also based on their experience. So you are learning off the experience of people using this in their field, right? Using this every day. And of course, I think that is the best way to learn in 2022. I mean, that's my personal opinion, though. So yeah, so you learn from these people. You understand the project life cycle. How to move out, how to manage your teams. Building a project. You understand your team. You set up meetings with your team. I mean, you understand this bunch of stuff around the project management. So I strongly believe you would enjoy your time learning with us. But we are definitely open to feedback. So if you have any complaints or issues, always feel free to reach out to one of the moderators, or yeah, I mean, you can always do that. I think maybe we will even set up. I think we have a feedback form that you can always use for that as well. I believe Amaka would arrange for that before the training commences as well. So I think. Yeah, so I think there's a bunch of repetitions on this agenda. So I'm seeing learning paths and learning channels. We discussed that already. So you are going to be added to your learning track between now and Sunday. You don't need to ask about that again. Just be patient. On the email we sent you, we said try your best to focus on the general chat, and the announcement chat, and also on your learning track chat, right? So make sure you focus on those areas, because most of the updates you'll see them in there. So make sure you focus on those chats. Okay, so final project and certifications. Of course, um, we are going to work on the final project, right, with your team. So the way we did it in the previous cohort is we have the front end, the back end, and the design team come together to build one product. And we think it's better to work this way, because you don't just learn you don't just learn about front end or back end or product management. You learn collaboration, right? You learn best practices. You learn communication, right? You understand the best way to communicate, with your partners, or with your project partners, of course. So we discovered in the previous call that some experienced or some good engineers or designers, probably have issues with communicating effectively. because their messages tend to kind of have a different meaning from what they're trying to portray. And those are some of the things we're trying to make sure you're able to learn because most of your interview processes, they focus on your soft skills, not necessarily the technical part of things, right? They focus on trying to understand if you're a good leader, if you're a good communicator, stuff like this. So we're going to ensure that, by working together, we're able to pick those flaws and, we're able to mitigate them. We're able to correct you. And yeah, obviously, we believe you're smart. I mean, you guys are smart, and definitely, taking correction and accepting feedback is a very good way to grow in your career. So yeah, I mean, you accept those feedback and you get better, by the day. And yeah, we also said only those that participate in the final project will be eligible for certifications and or for their certificate. And the reason why we're doing this is because we see that a bunch of people just join programs, cohort programs like this, for the certificate. And it's not a nice thing because we don't want a bunch of graduates from top universe on LinkedIn not being able to do the technical stuff that they really learn. We don't like that basically. So we don't want to train people that don't know the stuff, right? And this is a personal this is something I really don't want you guys to joke with, so you won't be given a certificate if you don't participate in this project. Of course, during the project phase, you have people that are taking attendance and the records of your work. Um, I personally have been in the position to hire a bunch of people for different companies, and we discover that we have so many people on LinkedIn with product design, UI UX, front end, back end, and they are not able to pass simple interviews because they don't really know these things, right? One of our mentoring sessions, I was telling some of our engineers, someone sent a message showing that he has more than 4 years experience in back end, and he knows that he does not really know this thing. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That you have up to like 5, 6, 7 years of experience, and these things are difficult for you to prove. But you have our certificate in your hand. I don't think it makes sense. So you should be able to prove that you have learned from us. By participating in the project. So I think yeah. So now we have reached to the stage where we have some of our graduates on the call, our previous the Cohort 1 graduates on this call, and they are going to tell us a bit about their experience. What they've been able to achieve so far. What they've learned and how far they've come. Yeah, I think we can kick off with that already. Amaka, can you please? I think guys, maybe you can raise your hand and Amaka would add you to the stage. Man, it's going to be difficult to locate you when you raise your hand here. Um, who do we start with? Yeah, what did you say, Amaka? Yeah, okay. So I'm even finding it difficult. I'm seeing some people raising their hand, but I don't know. I don't think they were. Okay, so I can see Daniel. I can't see Femi. I can't see Perpetua. I can't see Lukman. Oh, okay. So Daniel is raising his hand. So let's allow Daniel speak first. So I'm inviting Daniel to speak. All right. I think Daniel is on the stage. Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening. Good evening,
All
everyone.
right. Good evening, Daniel. So let's just work with 4 minutes should be fine, or maybe too much. Let's work with 4 minutes. So go ahead, please.
Okay, so my experience with Top Universe generally, I would say it has been like the most rewarding part of my life. I'm not trying to brag, like I actually mean it. So before I joined up with Top Universe, I'm actually a backend engineer. So before I joined up, I had no knowledge, no idea of Node.js. Like I didn't know what APIs were. It was that bad. So I joined up with zero knowledge, zero experience, and within 3 months, I was able to go from zero to at least a very good level. Right now, we learned during the cohort, the last cohort, we learned, building APIs, working with databases, working with cloud storage, just to mention a few. So it was really, really great, a great experience. And the thing I really loved about the cohort was the fact where you could, reach out to your teacher, and then if you didn't have, maybe you didn't understand something, you could reach out to your teacher, and I mean, you interact directly with your teacher, and then he or she will answer you. So it was like really, really, fast to learn. And also the workshop sessions, that were really, really interactive, where you learn, like you actually seeing, the person do the thing, and then you are there watching and asking questions. So, the good thing with that kind of learning is the fact that, you are already familiar with the interface and, how to go about everything. So the only remaining part is for you to do it on your own, and that really helped me. So when it comes to things like API design, API documentation, architectural designs, so that's how I got to learn, a few of these things via the workshops. And also, I would really encourage you guys, if you can, try to join up on the community sessions. They're like invaluable knowledge is um, it's being passed on. So if you can, please try to join up. I can't really begin to tell you how much I've gained from those sessions. You get to learn. As a developer, you don't forget that you learn every day. So there will never be a point in time where you say you know everything and you don't need to learn. So yeah. The past 3 months or 6 months now. So yeah, Top Universe has really, really been wonderful. Like it has nothing been nothing but wonderful, like really wonderful, and I trust and know that you will enjoy your time with Top Universe if you take it serious. So like I did, and I'm standing here to reap the benefits. I got a role as an intern. Yes, so I'm currently one intern right now as a result of Top Universe. So I'm eternally grateful. And yeah, the community with Top Universe here, it's wonderful. We have an amazing community and would love you to be part of us. So even after you finish your learning progress, maybe at the end of 3 months you've done the project, you've gotten a certificate, it doesn't end there. We have a community where you can come, interact, network, grow your network base, and you never know who you could meet. And when you interact with people like that, you grow your knowledge base. So these are just a few of the advantages. So, and I would like to point out these facts that some things that were taught in Top Universe, you won't find it being taught anywhere else. And I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to play favoritism or anything. I'm being serious. Like I've actually gone out and interacted with other backend engineers, and when I speak of some things which I learned from Top Universe, like they look confused. I'm like, okay, where did you get this from and all that? So it's really, really wonderful. Yeah. So I've not regretted my actions. I'm very happy that I joined Top Universe. So this is a little I have to say. So I also encourage you. So as you've also taken the the decision to join Top Universe, try and follow it up. Trust me, it will definitely give you benefits. You will benefit from this action you've taken. Just make sure you follow it up. The sessions, your classes, the project. Be serious with it. You have a lot to learn, and when you do, you will definitely stand out among your colleagues. So that's the little I have to say.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for that,
Daniel. Yeah, so I think Daniel currently works with a remote company based
as an intern, as a backend engineering intern. Okay, so I think we have some other people raising their hand. I think I saw Femi and Perpetua. Okay, yeah. So please, someone should invite Perpetua, and I think okay, an invite has already been sent to Perpetua. Okay, so can we, Daniel? Thank you very much. Yeah, you'll be removed from the stage now. Thanks. So, all right. So, hi, Perpetua. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening. So, let's not spend too much time. I'll just give you 4 minutes, but I'm not trying to rush you. I think 4 minutes.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. It's fine, sir. Okay, my journey so far with Top Universe has been an amazing one. Coming from a mobile dev background, it was kind of challenging at the beginning. And then, honestly, to be very, very sincere, at the beginning, I actually wanted to give up. But then, after I think like my first section, because I think the first class I missed the first section, so I was like, how will I even cope? But then after like the second, third section, and then the way they broke down information, like it was a welcoming development. I mean, coming from a mobile dev background where things were kind of like hectic. So information in Top Universe were actually shared in a very simplified manner. So it was actually very easy to communicate with everybody. The admins and the moderators made it very, very easy. We were given tasks, and then after our tags, they did not just give us tags; they followed it up, and then that helped our growth in more ways than one, right? So they gave us tags, they followed it up, they made corrections, and then we were there was something they brought about 100 days of coding, and then it was actually very exciting. You get like the whole challenge of every day there is a new work and project for you. It was actually very, very exciting, right? So far with Top Universe, I've learned a lot. I've learned Strapio, I've learned Swagger, I've learned API documentations and the rest. It is a it has been an amazing journey so far, right? I mean, when I go outside there and I talk, and then people are like, I I thought you're a beginner. You started like 3 months or 4, 5 months back. How come you know all these things? And I'm like, my dear, you won't understand. You get. So my journey so far has been exciting, and then I encourage you all to give in your best. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie. It's not going to be easy. But then when you give in your best, at the end of the day, you reap the fruit of your best. That's just it.
All right.
So thank you, and I welcome you guys to Top Universe. Take care.
Thank you very much, Perpetual. I do have a couple of projects, that I sometimes assign to Perpetual, Daniel, and I'm very sure that the deliverable, even though they are intense, is not crap, and I'm really happy about that part. All right, so I think we have Femi. Yeah, I don't know what is wrong. Femi keeps joining and leaving. Can someone invite Femi and take off Perpetua from the stage? Thank you very much, Perpetua. Femi, yeah, so for those of you raising your hands, please drop questions in the chat so that someone can be attending to them. Femi, please, you have just 4 minutes, okay? We've spent too much time already. Go ahead.
Good evening, guys. My experience with Top Universe has been a very, very impactful one. I had my goals written down early January that I wanted to be a badass Vue developer, and I signed up with Top Universe I think middle of January, and I was in school, so missing classes and making time to attend the sessions has been fun. Having to juggle work and life together. So the most interesting part of the cohort has to be when we're building the final project. It was tasking me just coming from HTML, CSS, JavaScript background. Even my JavaScript was not as solid as it is now. Then now I can boldly say that I'm a better JavaScript developer and even a better Vue developer. From the final project we worked on, I got to work with backend developers and also UI UX developers. So I also learned how to network and connect other developers the way you have in the real world environment where you get to the workflow, the projects, how to work with Figma, how do you consume an API, and it has been wonderful. Another interesting part has to be the community hour, where me and my fellow graduates, we also take up a little bit of 1 hour, 2 hours and just give back to the community where we take a topic and just break it down based on what we have learned from the internship. Also, Top Invest has also connected me to an internship here. I'm working with Daniel on that particular remote internship and I'm learning a lot. The internship actually provides more than enough if you are willing to learn, if you have the drive and the mindset that you want to become better. They only guide you. You have to put in the work. So that is my testimony. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So thank you very much for that, Femi. I mean, I think maybe you can also go ahead and share. I saw the project you shared today about you completed an e-commerce website development with Vue, and it's also fully functional with a backend tied to it. I think you said your friend worked on the backend. So those are some of the messages I love to see. So I would like you to also share that if you can on the in the community here. Okay, so I think there was one last person that told me he would like to just 1 second. Let me check for those raising their hand. I think that was supposed to be Lukman, but yeah, I don't think Lukman is on this list. Is he? Is Lukman on the list? Oh, I think Lukman is on the list, but oh, okay. So maybe he's having a bad network or something. Let's see if he can. If you can, Lukman, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I
Uh,
can.
all right. So you just have 4 minutes. So I think Mr. Fega also has a couple of contributions to make before we, and Amaka also has a contribution to make before we end the session. So go ahead, Lukman. 4 minutes, please.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to Top Universe. I'm Lukman, by the way. I really am busy currently, so I can't talk for too long. I would try and keep it short and simple. But I think most of my colleagues, like the graduates, already said everything I want to say. So I wouldn't be saying too much. But I really, really learned a lot, basically. Like a lot of things I didn't know existed, and I was like, wow, I definitely didn't know, because I am come from a background of like, okay, just basic knowledge, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and even a little bit of React. Like, okay, I even know what React is and all those type of things. So, but I don't know it deeply. I didn't know them deeply. So I got here, sharpen my JavaScript, sharpen my CSS and responsiveness, which is very, very important, and a whole lot, a whole lot. But the one thing that I think personally that I really got from Top Universe was or is the accessibility to the tutors. Like that's one thing I know that okay, that me, I don't know about any other person, me, I got I was just very, very, very surprised. Like okay, so I can talk to this person. So that's like, oh my god, it's so big, and the answer and speak to you politely, and even you said you even feel like, even this small person, something like that. So I really appreciated that. Until today, I still get to get to. I'm sorry, I get to talk to a few of them, like, oh, sorry, I have this issue, this and that. And definitely help out. They help out. That's one thing I can assure you that you'll be getting from this. So trust me, everything about all universe is like everything everybody has said before now is true, like pure truth, no lies, no lies. Trust me. So I hope I've been able to convince you guys that Top Universe is at least one of the best out there, and I'm gonna have to go now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lukman. Okay, so I think that is all for the list I have here. So for those of you raising your hand, I don't know if maybe that's a mistake because I said you can drop your message on the chat. Yeah, we don't have much time to allow you all speak. So drop your questions on the chat and yeah. So I think we can take Lukman off the stage. Thank you very much, Lukman. And next should be Chris Sega. Yeah, I think Fega wants to say a couple of things around learning technology. Kind of like a guide or like approach and the best pattern to follow. So Fega, please go ahead. Hi Fega, can you hear me? Oh, I think Fega left the call. Um, Lukman is still here. So Fega left. So I'm wondering, I hope you guys can hear me. Oh yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so Fega, please go ahead.
I think something just happened. My Discord just crashed. I just happened to start it immediately. Just said I should go ahead. All right. Welcome everybody. It's so great to have you guys on the platform, and at least from the testimonies of the previous cohort, I believe that we already excited, already expecting something great from this now. But there are some things we should pay attention to while learning. Okay, I think in my experience, in my years of experience, and all of that, these are the things I've been able to itemize that I feel like they are set back or they delay the process for people that want to learn technology. So I'm not just going to okay, let's just get to them. I think just four or five. Okay, number one, you have to avoid too many resources. Learning from too many resources at the same time can slow you from learning fast. Okay, let's say you're here on top university and probably you go to SYZ bootcamp and you're in ABC bootcamp. You're just merging everything together. I think it's not really going to work well for you. It's not proper because they have a curriculum already and you might be having issues with the curriculum, and I think we'll just be running in circles. So um, I think it's best for you to focus on one area at one time. If you're on top level, I think follow the curriculum, and at the end of the day, you get something out of it. Then number two, you have to kill your fear about learning technology. A lot of people are scared when it comes to technology. They feel like it's one big thing, like oh, it's an alien thing, and it's something that some people are born with, and they're like, no, you can learn it. You can learn it. It doesn't even all up and down. It doesn't matter if you're from any area of life, whatever. You can learn technology. It's very easy. So, another thing you should avoid is you should stop cramming your kind of technology, your understand technology. Because that would lead us to paying attention to the fundamentals. Okay, pay more attention to fundamentals. So we learn about these things, but we don't really have the opportunity to learn. We know the terms, we know all the names, blah, 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 but we don't know how to use them properly, we learn them properly. And we are concerned about building, but we're not concerned about learning. Sometimes maybe you have a project in your head that you've always wanted to do and all of that. I think what at this point, what matters most is the fundamental, learn the fundamental so that because you're able to build your advanced knowledge, you're going to be on the fundamentals. So that's very important. Then, lastly, practice more. Practice more than ever. Practice more than ever. If you can attend 10 boot camps, you can attend 10 learning sessions, and if you don't practice, you're still going to be rusty, like very, very rusty. So practice more than ever. Practice more than ever. I think my rule is if I learn 2 hours, I'm going to practice 6 hours. So it works well for me. Okay, you can actually have out your own rule, but make sure the goal is to practice more than ever. Don't cram. So I'm just going to go through them again. I've got so many resources. Stop cramming and don't be scared about any technology. Anybody can do it. Then pay attention to the fundamentals, whichever part you are, and practice more. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for that, Chris Fega. I mean, that is a very that is very correct. I mean, I also have engineers tell me the same thing. Most of them don't know the right content to consume, or most of them are stuck consuming lots and lots of YouTube videos. And I was telling some engineers today that the YouTube videos you watch are basically documentations that you could not read and someone else decided to read and teach you, which means what you've learned from the video is what the person understood, right? So if the person understands the video issues for some of you, but at the same time, don't tie yourself to any specific blog or content that you read somewhere. Maybe because someone said this should be done this way. I think it's good to at least listen to your instructors because they're talking to you from experience. They don't just read and teach. So we have a couple of instructors that we can just say, okay, join this session now, and we have some people who want you to teach them a couple of things now. Of course, they have the experience. They don't need to prepare for anything. They don't need to
jump around and you're looking for resources on Google or YouTube before they can come to teach you. I'm talking about
experience, speaking, and of course, not just in numbers, but also in practice. So yes, Chris Vega said you need to practice a lot, and that is for sure something you should and you must do if you want to be very good at what you say you do, right? I mean, whether it's programming, product design, even in agriculture, of course, I believe you have to practice very well so you can be better at what you do. So, Amaka, let's have you say a couple of things. Yeah, before the closing remark. I think Amaka, you were telling me the other time about the coffee chat thing. Should I pass on that info, or you will do that yourself? Oh, okay. Let me do that then. All right. So, yeah. So basically, in this cohort program, this cohort 2.0, we have introduced something called the coffee chat, and it's a way to teach you guys how to network, right? So, of course, we've noticed, most of you are introverts, most of you are extroverts. So I think for the introverts, yeah. So this is definitely for you guys. I mean, it's for everybody for sure, but we want to make sure that you don't just sit down thinking everything will come to you, right? Learning is one thing, knowledge is important, but network is probably very important. Maybe at the same level, of knowledge. It's very important. You need to network very well in this in the area of tech, like generally, in any field you find yourself, whether it's front end, back end, cloud, whatever. I mean, even in the managerial roles, right? You need to really network very well. So with the coffee chat sessions, we'll have you um, chat chat up someone, someone that you would love to talk to on Twitter or LinkedIn, and then you tell them that okay, this is what we're doing at Top Universe. we are tasked with we are tasked with networking, so we can learn on how to communicate effectively. And I would like to have a conversation with you around this area of tech because I've seen your profile and I've noticed that this is what you do, right? Of course, a lot of people will bounce you. I mean, you have to learn to face rejections. Most of us have actually gotten rejection letters, in hundreds, if it's not heading to thousands already. So you have to definitely learn to face rejections. Some people will say they are busy, they don't have that time, but trust me, somebody will definitely attend to you. I mean, somebody will definitely say, "Wow, okay, this is nice. I would love to talk to you." And during that session, it's going to look more like a mentoring section. You ask a question, and the person will answer you, and then it's good that you then tag Top Universe so we're able to track what you're doing because we also plan to bring in recruiters. We're working towards that. I mean, that is one of the most important parts that we are even trying our best to put as much effort as we can into the recruitment part of. I mean, it's very difficult. I'll be honest with you on that, but we're trying our best to make sure it's possible because after learning these things, you're not going to sit idle. Though we'll teach you on how to network. We would have sessions where we'll bring in professionals to do talk about CV reviews and portfolio development and stuff like that. Yeah, but the coffee chat session is very important. You have to have these conversations with those people. When you discuss with two, three, four, five, top LinkedIn and Twitter recruiters, you have to have these conversations with them.
Okay, I think he has maybe network is jamming or something. Yes, go ahead, go ahead. Okay, I think basically we are almost at the end, if not the end of this, or um, party, and okay, um, that's also I'm trying to get to engineer marvelous. Okay, and meanwhile, somebody will attend to you. Just from now till on Sunday, just put in your questions and everything, your clarification. For those that came in late, if you have any question and all of that, just drop it on the chat and you will attend it to. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. And welcome once again to Top Universe. See you at the top. Bye.